Hello everyone. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos. Today we will be discussing one of the language skills, and this skill is reading skill. So whom we consider a reader? One who can read the text, one who can read anything or of any genre, one who can read for hours, one who can read fast. So they are the readers. So what is reading skill? The ability to process text. Now what does it mean? The ability to process text? When someone is reading a text or reading a word, and if that person is able to visualize that text or see the word in some shape, that means they are able to process that text. Another ability is to understand. If you are a good reader, you must understand what you are reading, what the author want to tell you. If you are able to understand that feeling of the author, that means you are a good reader. The ability to comprehend. If you are able to summarize, if you are able to make a summary of that paragraph or page you are reading, that means you are a good reader. So if you have a good reading skill, you have the ability to comprehend. If you have the ability to integrate with prior experiences, that also counts under reading skill. A good reader always try to integrate what he is or she is reading with the prior experiences he or she have. When you are reading something, and if you are visualizing that content with some other happenings which had happened or which you have experienced in earlier phase of your life, that means you are a good reader. So if someone is claiming that he or she is a good reader, he or she must be able to process the text, must be able to understand what the author want to tell, must be able to summarize from the page or paragraph or book whichever is been read, and must be able to integrate the content with the prior experiences. Now what we need to be a good reader? There are few qualities of a good reader. Let's see what are they. To be a good reader, you must have a good vocabulary. You must have lots of words into your vocabulary. Then only you will be able to read. You should be able to decode. If you are not able to decoding whatever you are reading, then you will not understand what you are reading, and then your interest will be lost. So in order to be a good reader, you must be able to decode what you are reading. There should be a amount of fluency while reading, because if you are not able to get the rhythm of the page or lines or paragraphs, you won't able to understand the meaning which the author want to convey you, or which the page or the paragraph wants to tell. So in order to be a good reader, there must be a certain amount of fluency. You must be able to follow the sequencing or organization of the passage, how the two different passages or paragraphs or pages are connected with each other, what is the link between two paragraphs, how they are organized, why there is a change of paragraph. These all things must be very clear in the mind of the reader while reading. Then only he or she will be a good reader. The ability to draw inferences is an important element for a good reader. If you are reading something and if you are not able to find out the meaning, or if you are not able to find out the intention behind the written things, you will not be able to read further. And in order to make the or keep the gel or interest up, you must be able to draw inferences from the passage or paragraph or pages or books which you are reading. You must have to have the understanding of the central idea of the passage. Sometimes what happens that a student read the lines, and specifically if that particular text is not in his or her own language or mother tongue, if he or she is reading some other language, and if they are not able to understand the exact meaning of all each and every words, they stop reading because they think that they are not able to understand the text. But instead of focusing on understanding the meaning of each and every word, the reader must focus on understanding the central idea of the passage or the paragraph. It will be a great help for the readers who are initiating reading. So it is good for the initial readers that instead of getting into the very detailed understanding of each and every word, try to get the understanding of the central idea or main theme of the passage. And then you can decode the meaning of other words also. There must be an ability to understand the propositional structures, how it has been built, why it has been built, that need to be understood. The writer's purpose must be determined. The reader must be able to determine why the writer is writing something. By reading something, by comprehending the passage or paragraph, you can develop your own ideas about it. But before developing your own ideas about something, you must understand what the author wants to tell or express from his writing. And for that, you need to get the rhythm of the author's point of view. You must work on the memory and attention span. If you are not able to pay attention for a longer period of time, and if your memory span is very short, or if your attention span is very less, you won't be able to read, because reading need time. Reading require focus. In order to understand what you are reading, or the context or the content, you must be able to pay attention. Your attention span should be of a adequate time span must be there. That is very important for a good reader, or to be a good reader. Now let's see what are the different types of reading. So there are four types of reading: skimming, scanning, intensive, and extensive reading. These are the four types of reading. Let us discuss one by one. So when you read something at a glance or in a very quick manner, that type of reading is known as skimming, like reading the bulleted points, reading the headlines, reading bold letters. The perfect example of skimming is when in the morning you have to leave for some place, and at that point of time, if you got newspaper, you just skim it. You just see the headlines, you just see the bulleted points. Or if you are going to give your exams, whatever you have learned, You always try to read the bullet points or bold letters which you might, or the marked part which you have highlighted, so that you can scheme the things, because you don't have the time to read the full paragraph or passage. Skimming reading saves time. It prepares for deeper reading. Suppose you are going to read a book, and before reading the book, you want to check it out. What kind of book is it? So for that, you need to do the skimming. It helps in recalling, as I have given you the example of examination. So if at that point of time you are skimming, it will help you in recalling during your exams. Let's see what is scanning. Is just opposite to skimming. When you are reading thoroughly, deeply, in detail, that is scanning. When you are reading in between the lines, each and every line when you are reading, that is scanning. Reading for some specific search. We also scanning or scan the things for some specific kind of search. We are looking for something specific in the book or paragraph or passage. Then at that point of time, we do scanning reading. We scan the lines. We read thoroughly in detail. Intensive reading. The reading for understanding the chronology of events. When you are trying to understand the sequence of some event, or when you are trying to understand the chronology of the events or happenings, you do intensive reading. If you are preparing for some competitive examinations, if you are preparing for UPSC or other PCS exams, you must do intensive reading. You have to have the idea of everything in very detailed manner. Reading done for retention of information for longer period of time. When you want to read the information or swallow the information so that you can retain it in your mind for longer period of time, so that whenever it has been asked to you, you can bring it on the table. And for that kind of situation, you need to do intensive reading. You want to develop an idea, or you have to form some opinion about some issues. For that, you have to read intensively. It helps in deducing the meaning of some specific set of vocabulary. So intensive reading also helps in making you understand or dissect the meaning of some specific set of vocabulary or some specific set of issues and content. Let's see what is reading. Extensive reading is different from intensive reading, as it is the reading for pleasure. When you are reading some novel, or when you are reading some magazine, that you might be doing just for fun or for pleasure or for satisfying your some kind of needs. It requires the ability to decode and assimilation of text. Extensive reading need you to be able to decode, because you have to have the ability to understand the things, and you have to assimilate, you have to connect several things together so that you can understand. The reading is done only if the text interests reader, as the reader is not preparing for any exam, they are reading for some pleasure. So unless and until the content is very interesting, the reader won't read it. So extensive reading is for pleasure, and whatever interests a reader, they read only those things under extensive reading. Textbook reading doesn't come under extensive reading. It is done in a flow. It is done in a flow, continuously, in continuous manner. by breaking the time, or if you have if you are not reading it in a sequence or in a flow, you will miss the rhythm of the text, of the paragraph or book, and that then you will lose interest. So extensive readers generally read the things in a continuous manner and in a flow. So these are the different types of reading. Now let us see how we can improve our reading. To improve it, yes, there are ways. Annotate and highlight text. Whenever you are reading, keep a pen or marker or a placeholder so that you can annotate and highlight the text which might be interesting for you or which might be difficult for you to understand, so that you can take the reference of some other content. Personalize the content. This is a very good way to improve your reading skill. Whenever you are reading something, try to relate with the content. Try to assimilate that thing with your real life experiences. Then you will be much more interested in reading. Practice problem solving skills, because when we read, specifically if you are reading some non-fictional or fictional books, there you will find the stories have so many problems or something like that. And if you are not able to if you do not have the ability to problem solving skills, then you won't be interested in reading such things. So in real life also you have to be the solving person. Then only if you are finding something difficult within reading, you can be able to find out the solution of it, and you will not lose the interest. Incorporate more senses. All your sense organs must be very widened during reading. Not only your mouth, not only your ears, your eyes, also your mind also must relate the things or visualize the things, whatever you are reading. Then only you will be able to read it properly and you will not lose the interest. Understand the common themes. What is the common or central idea of the things which you are reading? That will also improve your reading. Set reading goals. Why are you reading? It is very important. Are you reading just for fun? Are you reading for some preparation? Are you reading for some knowledge, information, gathering information, for some literature? So set your goals and accordingly you have to read. Read in portions. Read in flow and read in portions. You have to segregate the portions which you will be reading within a session, and how much you can consume at a time. That also matters while reading. Guide your readings by summarizing and making notes. Don't only read. While reading or after reading the things which you have decided to read, also summarize what you have read. Also make some notes what you have read. That will help you to develop your own ideas about the things which you have read. And you can also understand how your ideas are different or similar with the author's ideas. It will help you to improve your reading skills. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and all your positive suggestions are welcome. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe.